Good morning and welcome. My name is Ian Waitz. I'm the Dean of Engineering, and it's my pleasure to open the second day of this symposium. My history before becoming Dean is that I was head of the Aeronautics and Astronautics Department. So while exploration is a theme in many departments within the School of Engineering, I would be remiss if I didn't boast a little bit about the Aeronautics and Astronautics Department in terms of some of the contributions, in particular referencing the first day here that the department has been responsible for. Inertial navigation, the guidance, navigation, and control systems that took us to the moon, as well as educating several of the Apollo astronauts. So it's a great honor for me to be here as Dean of Engineering and as former head of Aeronautics and Astronautics to welcome you today. I found the first day's discussions to be very, very interesting. Credit to Professor David Newman for really structuring the day. I thought that the beginning with the historical perspective was terrific. You know, what does it mean to explore? What does it mean when you run out of space to explore on planet Earth? Though I'm not sure that we've done that by any means. And what does it mean when you're exploring via robots and telepresence? And history is the right context for that, but we're really most focused on the future here across MIT. And you'll have an opportunity to hear a little bit again about the student award winners from the XCOR Student Showcase event. And that's really what I'll introduce next is Jeff Grayson, who will present those award winners. But I think they're probably the best people to envision what the future of exploration is about for us. So let me turn then to introduce Jeff Grayson. Jeff is globally recognized in the commercial spaceflight arena as one of the leading authorities on national space policy. He's a founder of the Commercial Spaceflight Federation. He was appointed by President Obama to the NASA Human Spaceflight Review Committee that was led by Norm Augustine, in which Ed Crawley, a professor here at MIT, also served. With XCOR co-founder Dan DeLong, he leads overall systems engineering and test program at XCOR, and he's produced 12 generations of liquid rocket propulsion systems and built and flown 2 rocket-powered testbed aircraft, so he's a real rocket scientist. Under his leadership, XCOR is building the Lynx, which is a reusable suborbital launch vehicle. Earlier in his career, he worked at Intel, where he developed some of the technology which became the basis for the Pentium product line. He holds 21 US patents and has a degree from a place that I have a degree from, Caltech, so we share that in common. So it's my pleasure to introduce Jeff, representing XCOR, who sponsored the Student Showcase event. Jeff.
Well, thank you so much. It's been many years since I've been a speaker here at MIT. And as a graduate of Caltech, now that we have our cannon back, I'm allowed to come back. It's a great pleasure for me to come and support MIT in its celebration of its 150th year, and especially to support the Student Exploration Contest. Student outreach is something XCOR has been doing since before we had a name for it, back when it was just the 4 of us who started the company around somebody's dining room table. And I'm a little surprised sometimes how out of our weight class we find ourselves in. You know, big companies, don't you hear me now? But it comes naturally to us. We're all excited about what we're doing. We think it's important, we think it's cool, and we think everybody else should too. And maybe that's the reason why, you know, I have more applications for people who want to come work for us than I have jobs, and executives of major aerospace companies come and testify in front of Congress how important it is to develop the workforce because they have trouble finding people to work for them. So I'm not going to say very much about that. I'm on the panel later and I can opine at will. but I do want to say I was very pleased by the quality of the presentations that I saw yesterday. I'm sure that there are a lot more great ideas I didn't get the chance to see from earlier in the competition. When you're younger, you think of a lot of things, and sometimes when you get older, you look back on them and you say, that wasn't quite realistic. But don't lose the dream that you have when you're young about how you're going to do all those great things. Just as you get older, figure out more of the details about how you're going to do it, because they are all doable. And with that, I want to thank a couple of people. I want to thank the leaders of the student competition, David Newman and Ryan Kubrick, and Peter James, who helped put the whole thing together. I want to thank the judges, Mike Massimino, John Hansman, Jim Bellingham, and Andrew Nelson, who works for me. And with that, let me first introduce the honorable mentions, which can then join me on the stage. The chain exploration team of, and I'm probably not going to get the names quite right here, please forgive me on that, of Mihal Kruchik, Paulo Mello, and Justin Kaderka. Please come on up here. Thank you, gentlemen. Very well done. Very well. Congratulations. Hang on, probably your stage left right here so that we can wait for the pictures. And the second honorable mention team, the Jupiter team of James Penna. And now the others will join me on stage, and I'll read their names, and then we can discuss the placement of the awards. Mary Knapp from the Solera team, Rachel Foreman and Aaron Johnson from the Robotic Birds team, and Jennifer Booz from the Satellite Play team. I thought for... Sorry. I thought those were all very excellent pitches and presentations and great ideas. And I am pleased that it wasn't my job, that I could delegate the task of figuring out which order we had to put you in. So the third place goes to the Satellite Play team of Jennifer Booz. Thank you so much. Second place goes to the Robotics Birds team of Rachel Foreman and Aaron Johnson. There you go. Thank you so much. Thanks. And at this point, to no one's surprise, the first place goes to the Solera team of Mary Knapp. Congratulations. Okay, very good. Thank you all, and thanks for carrying on the spirit of the students who bear that torch of enthusiasm forward so that they can be doing this to the next group 10 or 20 years from now. Thanks again.